when you were writing this book, did you tell him, hey, Hunter, I'm writing a book? Did he know or no? He was surprised?
That was the tough part. When we did our, child support dispute last year, there was a question that was brought to me. Are you writing a book? Do you have any?
Makes sense. Lawyers would ask. Is he asking or the lawyers are asking it?
The attorneys were asking sort of questions that, come back and forth. And I said I'd not canceled that out because I feel like I have a right to tell my story as Navy's mother. And I made that clear. But no, at the time, there was nothing in place.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And, once I started getting a lot of messages. And throughout all of it, there were the hate messages and the people that hated me and disagree with me, and that's completely fine. But then I started getting messages like women who have gone through similar situations, but it hasn't been in the public eye because it's not a political family or anything. And they talk about how, my story inspired them and how now, they fought for their child and now their child has a paternal side and a maternal and they're good influences in their life. And so it inspired me to tell my story because I think that there's a lot of women that find themselves in a situation when they get pregnant that they become a burden more of, celebrating it, oh, we're married, we've wanted kids. Mm-hmm. And then you also have those women that get pregnant and it's like, oh shit. And, it's a good story for those women to know, there's light at the other end of the tunnel. But writing the book, you sign that clause with your publishing agency and all that stuff that you can't tell people about it until a certain date. And so I wasn't able to tell Hunter until right before it was released.
When? Like a couple months ago?
Right before, yeah. Has it been that long?
I don't know.
Whenever it was released to the media that
I was a few weeks ago. Then.
Okay, yeah, I think so.
So then did he ask you, hey, can you send it to me for me to read it or not at all?
No.
They don't have the transcript? They haven't?
No.
Okay, got it.
No, and...
Are you at all worried about it when he reads it or no?
No.
Not at all?
No,
You're resolved.
My thing is, I want him to know what I went through. And, of course, I want everybody to know what I went through, right? You're wanting to share your story. You want to help somebody, maybe impact someone's life. But I want him to know what I went through. And I want him to know the hard conversations that I've had with our daughter and how long it's taken me to forgive and how long it has taken. Because everyone says, you give him so much grace. Well, it's been a long time coming because, yeah, I've stepped back and I've not said anything. And I've been a mother to our child and a father to our child. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've had to play both those roles. And there's been some hard times and some dark times that I talk about through the book. And I was alone. And I understand that sometimes during my dark time, he was in a dark time too, somewhere else. But he didn't show up for me. And he didn't show up for our child for so long that, no, this is a story. I actually write a letter to Hunter. You read the book. Did you read the book?
No.
Oh. There's actually a letter to Hunter.
Did the book, Rob? I don't remember anybody sending me a book.
No, they wanted us to sign an NDA before we got it, so we held off.
Okay.
I end the book, coming out of the shadows, and I write a letter to Hunter in there with forgiveness, a forgiveness letter. Like I said, whether there's an apology or there isn't, and we're just going to move past it like it never happened, that's not my burden to bear anymore. There has to be that forgiveness.
So, okay. By the way, I'm willing to bet thousands of men are watching this who have maybe experienced something like this in a much lesser, Hollywood script type of way that Hunter Biden takes it to a level that he's the GOAT on what he's done in this area. And they're sitting there saying, man, I'd love for my baby mama to watch this, to learn a few things from you, because my baby mama didn't have this level of grace. Meaning, your level of grace you've given to Hunter, let me tell you, it is, I know I'm going to get text messages and calls and manects of people saying, wow, they were not expecting that level of grace from you. But let me ask you this. So, okay, the love of a grandfather is different than the love of a child. Like the way you love your kids will be different than the way you love your friend, will be different than the way you love your wife or husband,
right?
Than sibling. That's a different kind of love, right?
Oh, absolutely.
The love of a grandchild, I don't know what it is, but I see and I witness through my dad or my mom or, through other grandparents, where it's kind of like that's your world.
Well,
have you at all gotten a call from the president to want to FaceTime with her, with Navy, to speak to her? And Jill, anybody? Have you gotten any calls?
No, I have not. I have not gotten anything. But I'll say this, the love of a grandparent is completely different. I tell people all the time, my mother never picked me up from the dinner table and hugged me and kissed me and told me how proud she was because I finished my plate of noodles. She's never done that. She does it to Navy. And I'm just like,
hey, how about me?
Yeah, where was that?
Where were you?
Yeah. So yeah, that love I think is completely different. And so many people tell me when they see pictures of Navy or when they're around her, they're like, oh my gosh, like she looks so much like her father. And it's like, yeah, she does. And I embrace that. I get that. But the love you have for your child, and then can you imagine your child having a child out there that looks so much like those years, that you were looking at recently.
And you don't want to call to meet or see or invite or just say, hey, would you mind coming to the White House? We just want to see. You've never gotten a call from the president to invite anything. Well, who knows? The one thing about life is, sometimes it takes time. Because you may get a call, this goes out there, somebody sees it, they're like, hey, we'd like to see you. They invite you to the White House or they come and see Navy. That would be interesting.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.